Vinlandsaga, and should be a good one here. This is DoD's pick, and we have 6 Aranos in this game. So we can see here how critical it is to be able to quickly get the best unit in the game when you have no town centers to defend you in towers, that is Termas, and having the Imba God Power Shockwave by the choice of gods here. So on the bottom we see DoD Fox spawning here as Aranos, instantly deleting his scout, and we see Shelty here being in the middle, and Reef Keys being on top, also deleting his scout. Just right of Keys, we've got player here on the left side for TSM. In the middle, we've got Fed, and on top, we've got Sensei. So we see successful teacherage here in the first game. Can he do it again in the second game? Let's see what's going on here with the transport ships. We see Keys sending 2 up to the island, and we see Fen sending 3 scouts up to the island. In terms of the spawns, Berry Bush, not great for Keys, kind of far from the town center. It's probably going to be the same for all players. Yeah, Berry Bush, actually incredible spawn here from player. Berry Bush right beside his town center. Actually, same for Fen, Berry Bush right beside. Oh my goodness, so TSM getting like really good Berry Bush spawns compared to the DoDs who have to walk so far to these berries, and maybe that doesn't seem like a big deal to some viewers, but in this game it's going to be incredibly important who's up quicker, who's got Termas, and who are going to win the very early battles. So being up an extra 5 seconds later due to walking further for berries is a huge disadvantage. At the same time, let's take a look at the quick fish. We see Sensei not really having good fish, so that can hurt him. But usually in this map, you only really need 6 fish spots before you go up. While here we've got a lot better dock placement for Keys and fish all around. Player actually having a good island as well in terms of its fish, and so yeah, pretty much all players being fine for fish. Fen's got a really unfortunate first dock just because he got unlucky with the placement. And then also Sensei not really having a great first dock either. Actually, he scouts another 3 patch of fish, so he's fine. On the main island, we've got everybody scouting. So there. Yeah, the other important thing, you don't need everyone Aranos, but of course Aranos sees the town centers on this map, and this is very, very important in terms of where you're going to establish yourself. We can see the river scouts. If you guys are new to this map and haven't watched previous RTSL games, this map has incredible supply of fish, so fish boom can be incredibly real here. At the same time, the game's all about kind of this island, because it doesn't matter how good your fish is if you don't control the town centers on this island. See here, let's take a look at the timings for the players. Fox 40% up, 29%, so Shelty's a little bit far behind. Keys in the middle of the two. We've got player slower than the DoDs, and Fen at the same spot, and Sensei roughly at the same spot. Actually, he's on par with the DoDs, it looks like 40%. Okay, so actually it looks like the DoDs are going to be up quite a bit faster. And at what cost? If we look, we see Sensei being on 6 fish. We see actually Fen going on 8 fish. We have 6 fish here for player. On the top here, we've got Keys on 8 fish. We've got Shelty on 6 fish, and Fox also on 6 fish. On the main island now, we see players being up and putting down his first barracks. His villagers are already there. Shelty doing the exact same, putting down 2 barracks right away. He's also having 4 units here, putting down a barracks. And let's take a look at TSM. They actually have not started to build any barracks yet. They're actually going for food, which is somewhat surprising. And there we go, first 2 barracks are being put down there by a player. In the meantime, Keys already has 2 barracks up. And pretty much the same for the other players, except Fox only having 1 barracks. Here we see Fen trying to put down his barracks, but his Vill's a little bit glitched here, walking back and forth. That's really unlucky for him. Since there's nothing else interesting going on, let's see how long this shenanigan will go until he notices. And there we go, he notices. And this pig also being in the way here, so unlucky for Fen. And we actually see Murmillo being built here by Sensei, which is a little bit surprising. They limit the term of speed and the mobility of your army, even though they do fare well. And we see here both all players on the DoD side having army, but not really moving out yet. Finally, they're going with their first armies, trying to pick off. Nobody trying to be super greedy and grabbing a second town center yet. All players realizing the importance of having units early, and DoDs kind of need to sync up their armies here. They need to go to their opponent's bases and kind of fight together. Since they have more units and their build orders were cleaner, they should be able to scout their opponents. The only problem is they're a little bit more spread out. And we see here first fight going on here, but this is against Skraeling, so luckily there hasn't been any really bad Skraeling. Here we see a nice 2v1 by Shelty and Fox taking out 1 Terma. Every Terma counts at this point. This is a very crucial point in the game. And the double coming in here again, and they're probably gonna pick off some units. Oh, and here we have a triple and a big choke point. So this big shockwave coming off, good starting shockwave, and there 2 TSM shockwaves go off. So not the best communication there, kind of 1 extra shockwave being used. Though at this point, you might as well use all the shockwaves you have, because this is kind of the key fight in the game. TSM having some Murmillo in this fight though is huge, because they're tanking a lot of damage, assuming the micro isn't there. At the same time, you see player finally getting more vills up to this island, and his vills are going to be able to tank in this fight if needed. We see 1 vill going down. That's not really a huge loss at this point, and we see DoD being pushed back by 1, the reinforcements being closer, and 2, just the Murmillo in their army. At the same time, we see Murmillo's coming in from DoD's army now, and how is the micro in this fight? We see kind of Keys running by. This is not good for them. Sensei losing a lot in this fight though. He needs to back these Termas out, and he notices at the right time. So quickly while we disengage here, let's take a look who has the fishing up. And it looks like Fen has it. He's the only one who has it, so let's get back to the action here. And we see a 2v1 on Keys here, and we see this army running away. At the same time, in the bottom here, we see them picking off a nice amount of units, and they're getting very close to the economy of these players. So this is a critical moment in this game. Now, can they properly sandwich the opponents? It looks like Fox's army is incredibly out of position here. This is unlucky for the DoDs, though it is still going to be a 2v2. Because, oh, this is hurting a lot. Shelty is losing so much here in this 3v1, and Fox is trying to come in, but he's just stuck behind the tree line. It's a really unfortunate positioning here from the DoD army. So that likely means they're going to be pushed back unless they can have better micro in this choke point here. And we see some units being lost in the retreat, but this is actually pretty big for TSM. They might be able to stabilize here. And this choke point is proving to be incredibly important in this game. This tree line being very good defensive. We see Fen grabbing a second town center here. On the DoD side, we see a Fox already having his second town center up. And now the armies are just kind of kiting. So Fox and Shelty nicely coming on the left side here with their armies. Keys having lost the bulk of his... Oh, that's not right. He's up here. Okay, so nice triple. They're kind of getting their armies all in the same spot here. They might prevent this town center from going up. That would be key for them at this point. They need to get a couple Prometheans on it if they want to stop it, because there are 3 villagers building it, and that doesn't look like it'll happen, so it looks like they're going to stabilize. At the same time, Keys, huge positioning here, finding all the villagers of their opponents, and what can he pick off during this time? He's got 1 vill, he's got 2 villagers, 3 villagers, great raid there by Keys, and might be a 4th before they notice. But he needs to get out now or else he's going to lose a lot of termas. At the same time, on the left here, we see DoD's having won this fight here, and they're being pushed back. Luckily, fans managed to get this town center up, so they can't push too far in with just termas. And you see them backing here. Good coordination. They must be on TeamSpeak. And if we take a look down here, we see player actually trying to get some raids of his own in, and we see here with all these Murmillos, he's going to do a fine job of picking off a lot of units and forcing Keys to back a little bit. And over here, it looks like Keys is actually running through the army, so actually losing a bit there, trying to get back to this huge stack of villagers. He notices though, and he's going to quickly get out of there. At the same time, let's take a look at what the other armies are doing. We see Shelty retreating here, and he's actually going to be able to pick up a nice amount of units, but Shockwave coming back in, so actually turning the fight back in player's favor. But these other reinforcements come over here, so let's see how the micro goes in this fight. The Murmillos are nice job running away from the Murmillos, but he's actually going to retreat. There's too many Murmillos in that fight to win. Back to the main fight here. We see Briefkeys running all the way up the map, and Sensei chasing him, not wanting to micro that army. And let's take a look at the rest. Fox has a very nice boom going on. He's on 3 town centers. At the same time, Shelty's on 1 town center, and Keys is on 1 town center. So Dod's up 1 town center right now. Let's see what Fen is trying to do. Is he trying to push out for another one? Doesn't look like it. Fish-wise, none of these players really opting for a large fish boom. And a little bit of Fox's units being cleaned up there. At the same time, Sensei going to take his 2nd town center, and Keys doing another nice raid, just relentless in this spot. He knows there's a lot of villagers. He needs to get out though. He can't lose too many to this army coming his way of Cherubilstan and Murmillo, and he does a nice job there of running, kiting, and getting a villager, and then getting out of there. At the same time, here in the middle, we see a big battle coming in. Nice shockwave there. He completely scatters the army of Fox, and a shockwave being cast right back by Fox. And it looks at this point like TSM is ahead in this fight, but it's all going to depend on the micro. It's a very close fight. There's a lot of units on both sides, and actually we see both teams, actually 1 player backing off and the other fighting. Actually, this is a triple here. There's 3 that didn't see the units of Briefkeys. So let's see what these termas... It looks like these termas are again going to find more villagers. Great job by Keys doing a lot of raiding. At the same time, Fox has a big boom going, and he should be getting up to heroic soon. And let's see what these Termas are going to find. Terma's managing to pick off another villager. Keys actually not going to be able to finish off this final citizen because it's going to get near the town center. And he didn't garrison it, actually, so he might go for the pick off here, and he does, and he gets another villager. Incredible raiding here by Keys. And we see player actually going to take a second town center here. And at the same time, we see Shelty also having expansion plans up there. This is a nice, very nice double here. They may be able to prevent this town center from going up. And we need Keys to actually coordinate with his team here, though. These Chero ballistas are going to be doing a lot of damage to these massive stacks of Termas. So pushed back there, and looks like player's going to be able to get this up safely. At the same time, we see Keys losing quite a bit of units here. But being relentless, keeping them guessing, and keeping them having to keep units at their base to defend against these raids. We see some nice scouting going on here. We see the Chero ballistas armies not being so mobile to get around this map versus the pure Terma armies currently, or the Terma Mermlo armies, which are a lot quicker. And then we see here him actually deciding to back off, taking this top town center. And meanwhile, Shelty's managed to get a second town center up, and Keys is taking a town center all the way up at the top left of the map. Is Sensei going to find it, though? These players, keep in mind, in this game of Age of Mythology, you can always tell if people are building town centers by actually trying to build the town center on a town center that you can actually see. And if it lets you click, then you know that he isn't building it, but it will prevent you from actually clicking your own town center to build if he's building it. So DoD's army we can see coming back to defend this town center, and not really a great army for taking down town centers, but still enough to warrant a response here from the DoDs. At the same time, let's take a look at how nice these booms are going. All 3 TSM players on one town center, while Keys is still so far behind because he's been concentrating on these amazing raids, and he's had to walk so far up the map just to grab a town center. So this is a very, very nice game so far. On the water, which I haven't actually noticed, apologies for that, guys, we have TSM doing some very nice raids on these fishing ships. But Fox doesn't really care. He's on 3 town centers. He's got a lot of villagers. So far, quite an even game, I would say. TSM doing a very good job considering they were up later, defending by this tree line. Big fight here going on in the middle, and they're going to catch a lot out of Fen and Sensei's retreating units here. Nice job converging their armies in one location, and a shockwave would do a lot of damage here. See all players except for Fox and Sensei actually having shockwaves, so in a fight right now, there's 2 shockwaves for both teams if it were to break out. So DoDs need to be careful here because they have a lot of Termas in their armies, and if they don't transition properly, shockwave being cast here. A nice amount of Prometheans to tank in this fight, not a lot of Valors left. What's going to happen? Fen coming in on the flank, as well as player, but what are they attacking? They're attacking Shelty's army, who ran right by. At the same time, this is kind of a triple going on here. And these 2 town centers are going to be the critical fight points in this game, it looks like. And not really much happening on water, though player doing a very nice job with only buying a few ships and doing a lot of raiding, but Keys here responding, making a few ships of his own to defend. And we see Fox here being in the heroic age as well as Sensei and Fen, making a fortress to try and claim this town center, this critical choke point here. A couple shockwaves being cast there by both Keys and Sensei. And looking at the unit counts on both sides and what reinforcements are coming in, TSM is definitely going to have to back. They do have the Mermlo advantage here, but they just have a lot less units. Actually, that's not the case with this big reinforcement coming here from player. They might be able to turn around. But no, they decide at this point they've lost too many units, they're going to get out of there, which means this fortress is going to get up, and DoDs are going to claim that extra town center, as long as they scout this properly. Depends, will Fen get this town center for free? See Keys here going to take his third town center, and a little bit slight miscommunication there because it looks like both Shelty and Keys try to grab this. So now Keys is also on 3 town centers. What's going on over here? We see, what? Was this a misclick? No, this is Fox actually getting up and casting Tartarian Gate over here, forcing all the units to retreat to this location, which might mean that they catch this town center, but no, it doesn't look like they even scouted it, so that's very tough for DoD. They're giving away this town center for free. And now the town center count should be, if they manage to claim this, which it looks like they will, 1 in favor of DoDs with this town center here. So in terms of a great game, entertaining to watch, you couldn't really have asked for much. Spawns were relatively even, and town centers were pretty even too. And we see Fox actually starting a Titan on the main island here, which is pretty hilarious. Using Sensei's Titan ability right against him, so nice boom by him there, getting to Titan Gate quickly. And what can the TSM team do here? Not a whole lot. They're forced to kind of defend in this choke point here. Fox not really going to be able to provide that many reinforcements in the fight for a while because his villagers aren't gathering resources, but he's already got such great upgrades that it doesn't matter that much. And I might have miscounted. I think DoDs are going to be up 2 town centers. And nice Tartarian Gate here, enforcing a lot of villagers to run away. Not really any reinforcements coming, so they're going to probably just decide to abandon this location completely and just give away this town center for now until they have spare time to clean it up later. Same time, great pressure being placed here. And we see trees being cast, and they're ready to put the Titan Gate right here when time comes. And Keys relentless, always raiding. I would love to see the stat of how many villagers or citizens he's managed to kill in this game. And Titan's going to be up shortly, which is kind of these players also grabbing Titan Gate here. We see Fen researching. The only problem with DoD is they have a quick Titan, yes, and it's going to be faster, but it's going to take a lot of time for that Titan to walk around the map, and we do have 2 TSM players in the Mythic Age able to get Titan Gate. Oh, and now we see Shelty getting in Mythic Age as well. And here we see Fox is about to get on 4 town centers. He's going to be a real threat in this game. Though Fen does have a lot of town centers, it doesn't seem like he's managed to boom as much. And we might be able to confirm that if we take a quick look at his economy upgrades versus Fox's economy upgrades. So relatively even, but we have Query on this side and a better farm up on this side. And over here on the top side, not really any fights going on, but Shelty taking what would be his 3rd town center. And this is a little bit puzzling. I guess he stole the tree and quickly cast Tartarian Gate, so nice job there. There's 1 Murmillo, 2 Murmillo here to hurt the Titan Gate, but not really a whole lot that can be done immediately to kill it. I mean, he can pump out Dryads as well. That would also work. And we see the Titan here actually starting to get to TSM territory while they're taking down these town centers. So it's looking very good for DoD at this point. They're about to start getting a huge population advantage. They've got a lot of units here, but Sensei's got a lot of birds here as well, which is going to do a lot of damage to the Titan. So we have 5 birds collectively in this location, which are micro on the Titan, are going to take it down very quickly. And then over here we see Keys still doing quite a bit of raiding. And Fox starting to kind of do what he does. Plays Egyptian style of pushing forward with towers. This Titan already down 1,000 health, but it's doing a lot of damage, taking focus fire from a lot of army in TSM, killing a lot of army as well, ridding them of a lot of resources. And Shelty now getting his own Titan Gate research. Will it be cast? It looks like they're still trying to deal with the Sartarian Gate, but once that's done, they might actually start. Some barracks being thrown at the top here to defend this location in case any armies do come to raid the town centers. And we still have 5. No, we have a lot of birds, more than 5. A lot of birds here in this location, but Titan is backing a little bit, and the birds are going to do so as well. Meanwhile, nobody's decided to actually grab siege ships and kill the main islands. And Shelty casting his Titan Gate here, so this should have no problem getting up. We don't really see any opposing armies coming in, except for a very small raiding party here, which is actually going to pick off a lot of units if they don't notice. That's 5 citizens, but at this point, 5 citizens is not going to be a deciding factor in this game. It looks like the Titan Gate will be. So TSM not having not started any Titan Gates of their own, while DoD will shortly have 2 Titans out on the map. Here, this Titan is about 1/3, a bit more than that, health down, but he's managed to do a lot of damage at this point. They're off town centers, and he's killed a lot of units. And now look at their position. They've got a few towers here. Destroyers are coming their way, and they're managing to push back, but Dryads are coming in, and palaces and production buildings are all going to be killed here. We see a nice spam of buildings here by Fen, which is going to, 1, secure this location, and 2, buy a lot of time for the Titan. And meanwhile, he's just going for its destroyer raids, which is exactly what they need to do at this point. It's not versus units. It's not about unit versus unit. It's about killing the buildings. So this might be enough, actually. It's a very, very smart idea. Heavy destroyers going to be able to raid these town centers incredibly quickly. So that should be 1, 2, 3. This is basically equivalent to a Titan here, these destroyers, except that they can move around a lot more quickly. And actually, a big army coming in here and preventing Shelty from getting this Titan Gate up. Great job here by Sensei. They've got kind of no units supporting this location. I guess they just don't have pop. And these destroyers having taken down another town center. And this Titan is still taking fire from lots of birds. It has managed to kill this entire location, though. There were 2 palaces and a town center, killing another building here. And where's he going to go next with that? Probably raid this town center on the right side. And he's not able to grab this town center because there's too much aggression. At the same time, we see Shelty bringing his army back to keep this Titan Gate alive and resume getting it up. At the same time, though, he does have 9 destroyers, which I believe should be going around the map trying to raid town centers. The problem with DoD is that their town centers here are all so spread apart. And Fen actually moving forward, claiming this town center. This is a location that really doesn't belong to them, but DoD's failed to defend properly. It's a very good play there. His population is going to go up as a result of this. Meanwhile, he's taking fire from a Titan and still handling it with not too many problems. Slight freeze of the game here, unfortunately. And there we go, we resume. So they've now secured this location, but they should be out and aggressive. They can't be playing the reactionary game, Sensei actually red, causing this lag. So displaying a lot of skill and also displaying the ability to lag as well. And a large army coming in here from Sensei. Shelty sees it, but at the same time, they're not going to be able to kill this Titan Gate, but they are going to be able to slow it down quite a bit. And we see Keys here reclaiming his top settlements with that destroyer raid, but we see now Fen has a destroyer spam coming in on this town center. So they should be able to win that location on the back of that. And how is he reacting here? He doesn't have a palace yet. He's still just getting resources. But in the main location here, TSM's kind of been deleted by this Titan. They've lost a lot of map control, a lot of production buildings, and as well as a lot of town centers. Fox now has a big army as well as Keys, and they're somehow getting in here and kind of deleting them from this left side. The question is Fen's push here on the top going to be enough? And I don't believe it will, because Shelty should be able to get this Titan out. These destroyers will get killed. They are going to be able to delay the Titan Gate, but it's just not a good trade at this point. Sven doesn't have much now. And also, the TSM team, once this mine's out, are going to be not be able to mine for a long time. And there we see player throwing in the towel saying this Titan did too much. So good job there by the DoD team, and the series will end up at 1-1. Great game. Very fun to watch. Good job by all other players.